One sultry summer noon, the vast auction hall seemed to have sunk into a languid doze. The appraisers announced the sales in tired, almost fading voices. In the corner of one of the upstairs rooms lay a heap of antique church vestments. There were solemn mantles and delicate chasubles, upon whose once snow-white, now cream-colored silk, faded by time, symbolic letters wound their way in embroidered garlands. A few dealers had gathered around, 2 or 3 men with unkempt beards, and a stout, imposing woman, one of those known as sellers of finery. In truth, she was not merely a dealer in rags, but a shrewd go-between, shielding other people's secret desires, trafficking in human flesh no less than in ancient fabrics. Up for auction came a lovely chasuble from the era of Louis XV, graceful as a marquise's gown, in perfect preservation, with a garland of lilies of the valley around the cross, tall blue irises reaching toward the base of the sacred sign, and wreaths of roses in the corners. I bought it, and noticed that the fabric still held a faint, elusive scent, not so much steeped in incense as infused with the ghostly, sweet fragrances of the past, not an aroma, but the memory of one, the delicate soul of vanished perfumes. At home, I thought to drape it over a small chair of the same exquisite period. But as I was fitting it, my fingers felt a faint rustle. Carefully unpicking the lining, I saw several letters fall to my feet. The paper was yellowed with age, the ink had browned, as if rusted. On one of the sheets, folded in the old fashion, a fine, neat hand had written, "To the Reverend Abbé d'Argençay." The first 3 letters were brief, assigning meetings. But the 4th was different. "My friend, I am weak, exhausted, and have not risen from my bed. The rain taps steadily against the panes, and I, sunk cozily into the warmth of down quilts, surrender lazily to dreams. I have with me but one book, one I love, and feel as though I had myself in part composed. Shall I tell you its name? No, you would scold me. When I have read, I sink into reverie, and I long to tell you something quite particular. Cushions have been propped behind my back, they hold me up as I sit and write to you on the little desk you once gave me. For 3 days I have not left my bed, and all the while I think of it, return to it in my thoughts even in sleep. The bed, my friend, is our whole life. Upon it we are born, upon it we love, upon it we die. Were I possessed of Monsieur de Crébillon's pen, I would write the history of a bed. How many stirring, tragic, and yet tender, enchanting events would it contain? What lessons, what instructive tales for all. You know my bed, my friend. These 3 days I have come to know it anew, and my attachment to it has only deepened. It seems to me a place inhabited by the shadows of people I have never known, and yet who have nonetheless left here a fragment of their lives. Oh, I cannot fathom those who buy new beds without memory, without stories. Ours, old and spacious, holds the recollections of entire generations, from birth to death. Think on it, my friend. Remember how many lives have passed between those 4 carved columns, beneath that canopy embroidered with little figures, which for 3 centuries has gazed down on all that has transpired. See now, a young woman lies there, sighing softly from time to time. Then she moans. About her stand the elder kin. And behold, into the world comes a small, wrinkled creature, mewing like a kitten. Thus begins a human life. The young mother, exhausted yet radiant, freezes in rapture at its first cry, stretches out her arms to it, breathless with feeling. And all about her weep for joy, for this tiny morsel of flesh is the continuation of the family, the blood, the heart and soul of those who gaze upon it through tears. For the first time, the 2 lovers found themselves so near body to body within this sacred tabernacle of life. They trembled, yet at the same time, seized by rapture, they drank sweetly of their closeness, their faces leaned toward one another, and their lips gradually met. The kiss, divine, like the gates to an earthly paradise, sang of human delights, promised them, foretold them, and already bestowed them. Beneath them, the bed swayed gently, like a stirred sea, yielding, answering with a soft murmur, and seeming almost to come alive, rejoicing, for it had just witnessed the intoxicating sacrament of love. What in this world could be sweeter, more perfect, than the embrace that weaves two beings into one, and in that instant grants them a single thought, a single longing, a single mad joy descending like an all-consuming flame from heaven? Do you remember the verses you read to me last year? I think they were by some old poet, perhaps the tender Ronsard. If to bed we both repair, and entangle, twined in air, all delights will then be ours, as of lovers long ago, who contrived beneath the covers 100 games in wanton flowers. How I should like to embroider those lines upon the canopy of my bed, from which Pyramus and Thisbe, wrought by some skillful hand, gaze at me unceasingly with their unblinking eyes. And remember, my friend, death. Remember those who have here drawn their final breath. For this couch is also the grave of faded hopes, the last closed door after it has once been the gate to an entire world. How many cries, how much terror and anguish, how much despair and final moaning, how many hands reaching back toward the past, how many calls to happiness fallen forever silent, how many death throes, rattling gasps, contorted faces, upturned eyes has this bed beheld over 3 centuries while offering shelter to mankind. The bed, think of it, is the very symbol of life itself. I realized this only 3 days ago. There is no object in the world more significant. And is not sleep the best moment of our lives? Yet here too suffering finds its refuge. The couch is the sanctuary of the sick, the harbor of exhausted flesh. The bed, it is man himself. Our Lord Jesus Christ, to show that there was nothing earthly in him, seems never to have needed a bed. He was born upon straw and died upon the cross, leaving this place of tenderness and rest to the weak like us. How many more thoughts swarm in my mind, but I have no strength to set them all down, nor could one ever name them all. I am tired, I want to take the pillows from behind my back, stretch out full length, and sleep. Come to me tomorrow, my friend, at 3 o'clock. Perhaps I shall feel better and be able to prove it to you. Farewell. Here my hands for your kiss, and here my lips.